I got my eyes on the prize.
Welcome to Eyes on the Prize, a space designed to share and promote eternal principles for our lifestyle today. I've got something good for you all, got something that I'm excited about sharing. It came to me a little while ago, so it's about time I got it to you. Let's get right into it. Let's call it The Last Dance. Not too long ago, ESPN released a Netflix-produced documentary series called The Last Dance. It was a 10-part documentary series that followed the 97 to 98 Bulls team on their quest to their 6th championship and also their 2nd repeat. It was a quest for history. Among the cast of players, the administrative staff, the fans, the A-list celebrities who made appearances, the commentators, the documentary revolves around Michael Jordan, the myth, the icon, the legend. And among many other things that you'll learn about Michael Jordan in this documentary is his competitive nature. And it's his competitive nature that actually drives the release and the production of this documentary now. If you've spent any extended amount of time in a black barbershop, you've either witnessed or been a part of the legendary GOAT conversation, the greatest of all time. And for a good while, it was between Michael Jordan and Kobe. Kobe! But in recent years, the conversation has shifted to Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. In fact, Michael Jordan agrees to do this documentary after watching LeBron James lead Cleveland past Golden State in Game 7 in 2016. So this documentary, The Last Dance, is designed to protect Jordan's GOAT status. It's designed to defend his legacy. You see, his competitive nature was tangible on the court, but it's still very much alive even in his retirement. Michael Jordan is concerned about what the public thinks about him. He's concerned about what people are saying about him in the barbershops, at the parks after games, what people are saying on ESPN, sports journalists, this, that, and the other. I find that interesting. It reminded me of a moment in the scripture, a moment in Matthew 16, verses 13 through 17. When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" "Well," they replied, "some say John the Baptist, some say Elijah, and others say Jeremiah or one of the other old prophets." Then he asked them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." Very interesting. So real quick, Jesus asks his disciples, "What are people saying about me in the barbershop? What are people saying about me at home? What are people saying about me in the streets and on the block? What are you hearing about me?" And at this moment, his disciples had a lot to say about him. "You know, I heard this, my sister-in-law said that, some people think you this person and others think you that." And it's funny because a lot of people have a lot to say about Jesus. Problem is, there's a lot of he say, she say about Jesus, and we can't seem to find the real image of who Jesus is. Particularly, I'm thinking about this white Jesus guy. I don't know who that is, but he seems to be popular. Nevertheless, his disciples had a lot to say about that. Yeah, I heard that. But then he asks his disciples, "Now, who do you say that I am?" And they got quiet. And it's a sad day. It's a sad moment where the people who have been following Jesus, walking with Jesus the most, watching him do his miracles, watching him feed thousands, watching him heal people, watching him love people, watching him speak truth to power, watching him walk on water, watching him raise people from the dead. The people that were closest to Jesus have nothing to say. And the timeliness of this question is very interesting because Jesus is coming to the end of his whole earthly life. And so it was about time that the disciples had something to say. And so for us, if we're people who follow Jesus, if we're people who rock with Jesus, we need to have something to say about who Jesus really is. We can't let the world dictate Jesus's image and his reputation and his legacy. Because oftentimes, the people who are not following Jesus have the most to say about him, and they're talking the loudest. So imagine being wrong and loud, but imagine being right and being quiet. One of the disciples spoke up, old loudmouth, good faithful, Peter, comes up and says, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." Jesus is like, hey, yeah. If we are people who identify with Peter and his revelation and confession of who Jesus is, then we need to speak up and represent Jesus. Because there's a conversation going on. In fact, there's lots of conversations going on. And that's what Jesus is concerned about. It's funny that Jesus didn't take the time to address the false images of who he is, the false notions, the bad interpretations. That's not his problem. But he is concerned about what you and I think about him. Because based off of that, then our whole lifestyle will be shaped. Just as The Last Dance recounts the many episodes in Jordan's life and his career, Jesus also has a documentary that we can watch. Or rather, read. Ah, yes. This Holy Bible here. It is the documentary about a young man who came to earth, knew his identity, and balled out. Truly balled out. But that's a conversation for another day. So how can we learn who Jesus is and forge our own opinion, despite the many voices and conflicting ideas, the distorted images of who Jesus is, the popular bad interpretations of him? We got to watch this documentary. We got to revisit those episodes. We got to see him in action. And once we do that, then we can forge an opinion for ourselves. And once we do that, then we can represent him. We can represent Jesus.